I've heard a few times very recently, and it kind of got my wheels spinning on and thinking. Multiple people, even an author that I'm reading, wrote in her book that they find meditation as a waste of time. They don't see value in it. They don't see a purpose for it. To just sit there and have your mind bounce between all of the things that are going on in your life and create abstract thoughts and reminders and just all of these tangents and thoughts and emotions. What's the point? I don't see the point. Um, my initial thought is everything is a skill, whether it is I mean, everything. You can just pick something, and it's a skill, and skills can improve. So whether you're gardening, you could improve your gardening. Driving, you could improve how you drive. We know skill development from sports, but we don't really put a lot of emphasis in that. At some point, I want to talk to as many high level pro athletes as possible to start getting an idea of how did their brains work in comparison to mine or others or the average person? Because if you look, like if you watch TV and you watch like slow motion replays now, like I don't know about you, but I have a completely different appreciation for the spectrum of human capability. Yesterday, I'm watching World Cup. They do a slow motion replay. Like guy just went up for a header. You see it all the time. You see it hundreds and hundreds of times if you're watching this World Cup. But I like if you can look at it from a certain perspective, look at it from a certain observational perspective. It's amazing what they can do. Like if you put a World Cup soccer player along next to like the weekend warrior still playing men's pickup, like it's amazing that that's a person. Both of those are people, and they both have bodies. That really the biggest difference is, oh, that one might be bigger, that one might be more defined muscularly, whatever. But they both have a brain. They both have the same potential neurologically. Sure, one might have damaged something. One, I'm realizing how much I do this. So stay tuned for me kind of like halfway and like settling in, or just going for it and using my hands even more than I already do. But any which way, they both have brains. So I'm watching World Cup. I'm watching this slow motion replay of a guy going up for a header. His head's above the crossbar. That's 8 feet. So if you're not 8 feet tall, you're jumping at least a foot off the ground. 12-inch vert. Some people don't have a 12-inch vert. Um, these guys, it's not even 12. Like it's like multiple feet off the floor that they are jumping, and I look at that and go, wow. Or like someone cutting. I'm gonna sneeze here. And changing direction, and you see that their like shin angle is like 30 degrees from the floor while they go that way. Put yourself into that position. Most people that I know can't even put themselves into the position that these high level athletes do without even a thought. So, what a great place to study. The less than 1% of people. I would say over half of the population, if you gave them a choice, would love to be paid like their living playing a sport. Yet under 1% get paid to play a sport for a living. That's all their day is. I have the privilege of working with one, and it's like, so tell me about your day. It's like, I mean, I get paid for two hours of work a day. Everything else is on him. And what a unique challenge that you have to make sure that you are the professional athlete that your organization paid for, but they're only going to focus on you for 2 hours a day, maybe three if you have meetings, and it's up to you to make sure that you stay at that standard. The organizations are not there saying, hey, let's make sure that we keep you at that level and even higher. So going into skill development, even more in depth. We do know the highest level athletes find ways to reinvent the things that they do all the time in novel ways. So the easiest way is they think about it different. I have, let's do something like easily shown here. I throw a baseball for a living. I do the same motion over and over. How do I approach that from a skill development if I'm already throwing the speeds that I want, the ball shape that I want, I can last long enough? Like, again, I'm being paid. So I'm doing my job. But the question is, how do you keep getting better? How do you, like, it's a skill. Every skill can be developed. It's not to say that you will start an endeavor on skill development and be like the number one in the world, but the foundation still the same, is that you can improve in skills. So that pitcher, that baseball thrower might think about their index finger one day. Then they might think about, oh, I'm going to think about this being like a rubber band. They might think about violently rotating their belt buckle towards the catcher's mitt. They might focus on how they're launching off of their plant, or their, yeah, I guess it's technically their plant. No, their launch foot. They have a plant foot. So there's so many different ways that you can develop skills and improve in skills. It's not just like, go to the other end. I spent a lot of time in youth athletics and youth sports, and I watch practices. If I'm at the park and there's a baseball practice, I'm watching. This is what I'm interested in, is high level human performance. Like, what's the difference? And I remember watching TV as a kid and like stumbling upon a soccer game and watching a goalkeeper going, how do I do that? Like, he's a person, I'm a person, I can't do that. How do I do that? And I didn't have answers. And I think that's part of why I gravitated towards, or I found myself in applied neurology, because it answers all those questions. Your vision matters, your balance matters, how you move matter, how you think about things matter, the environment that you come from. So if you're a young kid playing sports and the only thing you can think about is going pro, make sure that you are in an extremely challenging environment that has a lot of support for you to reach and excel past the challenges. There aren't many out there. There are plenty that have high standards, and most have very low support. What does that look like in reality? A coach telling you things. I was a pro, whatever. So you need to be more dynamic. You need to be more aware of checking your shoulders. You need to look more often. You need to scan. You need to have a faster burst. You need to use the width. They'll tell you everything that you need to do, but that's not learning. It's not. It's critiquing and just providing information, but that's not teaching. That is, it's way too easy. Like, we don't, like, I always wondered that. It's like, sometimes at soccer practice, it's like, we're working on pattern play. It was one of the most boring, hated activities in soccer practice as a goalkeeper that I could think of. What happens is the coach tells everyone to go stand in a certain position. And then he proceeds to say, you play him, he plays you. When you see him running, or when he's getting the ball, you start running. And then as you start doing it, the coach stops it and just corrects it. Nope, you need to do that. Restart. Nope, that needs to happen. Restart. Did you see how that worked? Restart. And then a game would happen. None of these patterns ever showed up in games. Ever. And it was because it wasn't the sport, and it wasn't the desired skills that are required for pattern play. You need to create an experience, a situation in practice, and let the players freaking rep it out. People can learn. If you allow them to make mistakes, which is another big reason why people don't get much better at what they do, is we're terrified to make mistakes. We're terrified of looking different than the collective, and that is what's required to learn. So most athletes are stunted because the environment isn't challenging. It doesn't mimic the sport that they're playing. They have coaches that tell them but don't teach them, and they are terrified of making errors. So Yeah, makes a whole lot of sense why under 1% make it pro. And I have a feeling that they are doing things differently than the 99 plus percent of people that don't. And we already talked about just creating novelty out of things that they do all the time. They think about it different. They explore a bigger, smaller, faster, slower movement in different sequences. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. And I'm sure if we ask the questions of a big block of high level athletes, they're along those lines. So let's go back. Skill development. I heard that meditation is a waste of time by multiple people in a very short amount of time. And I went, interesting. Why would you think that? Because the other side, I've meditated every day for, I use an app. It keeps track of your daily meditation. No, I never just set a timer, press play, stopped it, and said, great, I meditated today. It was I sat there, and that's the start of meditation. So I sat there every day for, I think I'm at like 380 something days. So obviously the skill development for me, I found something. It was worthwhile. I struggled to build habits. So to look at, wow, I've done that every day for over a year, must be something there for me. And those that say, hey, I don't do it, I think it's a waste of time. For me, having started there, now meditating every day for over a year, I can tell you, you suck at meditating. It's okay. At what point did you do things, hey, I'm going to start something new, and you were just the best at it? Not often. Like typically, when we pursue something new, our skill level is low. And it makes sense when we're using our body. It's like, okay, I want to start playing soccer. I don't know how to get this ball from me to my teammate. The first pass you probably made was not very good. Plain and simple. Oh, okay. I stood there and swung my leg at it. Well, that's not how you pass. Okay. Oh, there's a foot position. There's a weight transfer. What I look at matters. What my posture is matters. What I think about matters. There's the skill development of a simple pass. So the people that are coming or I'm hearing are saying, oh, meditation, waste of time. That just shows where you are in your own skill development. Meditation is phenomenal if you can build the skill. It's not, now I'm going to be a professional meditator. It doesn't need to be. It's not an athletic. It's not a sport. It's not an achievement. It's not a status. It is a personal exploration. And it is a very, very important exploration. I had the soccer kids that I work with. I coach at a local high school. End of the kick around yesterday, had them all lay on their back, knees up, feet flat, close your eyes. Just pay attention to your breathing. And helped, like we did 4 minutes. It was planned. And every minute I just reminded them, hey, your mind is racing. You're probably thinking about all of these other things. Just pay attention to the next breath. See if you can string together 2 breaths. That's the skill development of meditation. So if you said, hey, I'm going to do 5 minutes every day, and you committed to it, and you are now 2 months in, and your mind still races the same, it still bounces from thought to thought to thought, and it still feels like it's a waste of time, you're not seeing the skill development part. You're just taking it as an activity that you should already be good at. No, it's not how it works. So it's a skill. It needs to be practiced like that. So what do you practice? I'll give you my first experience with mindfulness meditation. Let's get over the religious component. So go figure. Religions, they just stumbled upon this as this helps humans. Yeah, you could call it Buddhism. You could call it anything that you want. But at the end of the day, it's a population, a group of people that went, by practicing this, I'm changing who I am as a person. And that is powerful. So let's start with gold standard. Like, what can you get out of meditation? If you're one of those people that's like, it's a waste of time. I just sit there and my mind races, and I think I could be spending that time doing something much more productive. That's the point. Our nervous system is not wired or designed to be in go mode all the time. For most people, including myself, the only time go mode was done was after I passed out and the period of time before I woke up again. That's the only time I spent out of go mode. Mind racing, next thing on the docket, work, 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 play, 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 more thoughts, more stuff, just constantly bombarded up there. If you want to put it into brain wavelengths, like we actually have some wavelengths, we've been studying them, we see them pop up in different ways of thinking. The highest wavelength is called high beta. Beta is ultimately our survival and protective thought process. Our thought process goes, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next, connect this, connect that, think this, think that, think about that person, think about that emotion, connect that emotion to that thought, to this thought, back and forth and everywhere the sort. It's important. It keeps us active and ready to go. But we can't stay there. I think that a lot of the long-term problems that we have in our society that we don't have answers for, why are people getting dementia at a bigger rate? Why are people dealing with mental illnesses and mental stuff? Why are people dealing with Alzheimer's and man, I'm a bit tired today. Yesterday was the 4th of July and it felt like a war zone. Like I could feel the concussion from fireworks in my apartment. I've had a lot of head injuries. So loud, unexpected noises take a lot out of me. So I'm feeling it a bit today. But there's the mental side of things. So the skill development around that mindfulness meditation, get over the religious component of it. Think about it as a skill. We don't want to spend our life in high beta. Mid beta is more of a learning wavelength. It's something new. It's something novel. I'm paying attention to it, but it's not familiar thoughts, experiences, emotions running through over and over again. Low beta would be more of just an awareness of my surroundings. So I consider that now the now state. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not judging anything. I'm just aware of now. What am I seeing now? What am I hearing now? What am I feeling now? What am I thinking now? Without hanging on to that thought and riding it like the car keeps going and I just keep hanging on. It's just the car passes. I'm not holding on to it. A lot of people put mindfulness meditation like I'm sitting on the side of a freeway and I'm just watching cars go by. Another one is I'm on a bridge and the water is just going underneath. That water signifies like the thoughts and the emotions, and that ultimately is what happens from developing the skills of meditation, is that you unlock a different mode. A mode of things can happen and I don't have to invest in them. So you went from high beta to mid beta to low beta into more alpha. Alpha being I'm aware of what's going on inside. So I can feel my emotions, I can feel my chest, I can feel my hands, I can feel my heartbeat, my respiration, stuff like that. Then you go into T, theta waves, more sleep. So I think of it as bat D, sorry. Theta, delta is sleep. I think of it as bat D, beta, alpha, theta, delta. Missing one, or missing what theta was then. Any which way. You've got a cascade of different of brain states that we can play with. So mindfulness, meditation, the skill there is getting free from that fight, flight, survive thought process. Again, the long-term, there it is, I'm sorry, you're going to get a lot of bouncing around back and forth today. going back to the long-term issues of Alzheimer's, dementia, brain stuff, cancers, long-term heart problems, whatever it is, I think that it's us getting stuck up there. We're not supposed to be in ready to go mode all of the time. Mindfulness and meditation in today's climate is the reminder of that. So if you're saying it's pointless, that just means that you are very stuck in a certain wavelength, in that high level beta wavelength. You need to be able to get to somewhere else. I think it is a foundation of nervous system health. It is a foundation for your brain and your body to live a long-term healthy lifestyle. Is you need to be able to stop. You need to be able to go into creative mode, into I'm just aware of my surroundings mode, to I'm feeling my insides mode, to I'm asleep. Like we pretty much say, hey, I'm either go mode or asleep. There's not a lot in between, and especially if you just have a job that checks off the financial basis for you for your lifestyle, there might not be a lot of learning in there either. So a lot of people don't learn after college. They get a job and they just try and write it as long as possible. I am on or I'm asleep. I'm on or I'm asleep. Don't kid yourself watching sports, watching Netflix, even if it's a documentary. For most people, it does not actually satisfy the education value. It is much more I can't continue doing things, but I need to stay on. So that's our way of tricking ourselves and saying, I'm resting. No, you're not. You're not resting. Close your eyes and be with yourself. As you practice that, then you will start to rest. Non-sleep deep rest is a thing out there that is showing phenomenal stuff in research. Ultimately, body scans, laying down, being aware of your body but not falling asleep, that is kind of the non-sleep deep rest component. Mindfulness meditation there's a lot of different ways to approach it. There isn't just a be a monk, be a Buddhist, and go home for 5 minutes. You could pay attention to the spot, like a fingernail deep, where the third eye is, if you want to get mystical about it. But that's your frontal lobe, and your frontal lobe is supposed to be able to shut the rest of your brain up. So if you focus on your frontal lobe, they call it, the research is, I think, about a fingernail deep, just above the eyes in the head. So we don't have sensation receptors for our brain, so you're not going to feel that. You have to visualize that. So visualization, massive cerebellar activation. You're thinking about your frontal lobe, which is supposed to govern the activity of the rest of your brain and tell places to shut up when you want them to shut up. Cerebellum also prevents unwanted thoughts. So now you're starting to get into, I'm actually training my brain. Every time I do mindfulness and meditation, I am training my brain. So the person that says, hey, I don't see it as, it seems like a waste of time, that just shows how much you need it. Plain and simple. And it's not it's not a finger point, it's not a you're an idiot because you don't think. I was there. I started with 2 minutes. I thought it was a waste of time. It was a nightmare. I didn't like being alone with my thoughts and my emotions like that. But I, at the same time, went, is that okay? Is that okay that I can't just shut off? That I spun a situation 15 different times in my own head, and a lot of it negative? I don't know. But again, research supports that this is a big part of a healthy brain, and I was interested. So I went, all right, well, let me just keep doing 2 minutes. That 2 minutes kept building, and then you start realizing that, my mind wasn't racing as much. Going back to different meditations, again, apologies. You're going to get me going all over the place, probably more than the normal all over the place. But you can think about that spot. You can pay attention to your breaths as they come by. You could add a body visualization component to it. You could focus on places that have a lot of joints, because a lot of joints feed a lot of movement signals and feed down into the body more than, say, stretch signals. Go figure, we stretch and we don't move, and that's weird to me. Like, we should move a whole lot and be comfortable with the stretch. We shouldn't be stretching to think I'm going to get better at moving. It's two different processes. So I stretch and I get Golgi tendon and muscle spindle activation to say, hey, we're approaching an end range at a joint. If I move a joint, I'm getting massive mechanoreceptor information that, hey, this joint's moving. What's more important for athleticism in life? Movement, not stretch. Be comfortable with stretches. Do them after you have things to do. Move and move prior. I think we're going to come to a full circle where you watch old school athletics, they weren't standing around stretching. That's a new thing. And I think it's a lazy thing. It's, we got to do something. Well, this is the easiest. Let's do that. Subconsciously, we're not interested in challenge and difficult. Easy is best. And I think our whole system right now has been built on subconscious brains choosing easy. That, unfortunately, satisfies a moment-to-moment survival, but it leads to a long-term degradation of us. So we need to get back to making things hard in specific ways, in ways that make sense. So the idea of the autonomous vehicle, oh boy, that's terrifying. Because I have a feeling that having to drive is keeping a lot of brains just on the right side of, uh-oh, I'm degrading and bad things are happening. So I would like us to be able to choose, and I would think that as neuroscience, neuroanatomy, applied neurology starts gaining more and more traction, we're going to start recognizing that we need challenge. So back to your meditation practice, it's worth it. You're just not good at it, and that's okay. But we don't like doing things that we're not good at, so it's so easy for you to create some reason that makes complete sense to yourself as to why you won't do that activity. That's also human nature, and that's also human brain function. We believe ourselves. Plain and simple. If I'm going to die right now, I'd rather do it believing me than taking your word for it. That simple. So the idea that, hey, it's not worth my time, keep focusing on it. Keep doing it. Now be aware. My mind is in thinking mode. My mind is racing. That is a high level beta function. I need to start working through mid beta. So and this is part of my own exploration with it, as I continue to practice, let's give you a foundational understanding and a definition. I am trying to observe without judgment. Plain and simple. So if I'm picking something, that's kind of creating like a flavor of that. And I think that those are tools to help you continue to improve the skill of meditating. Hey, focus on this spot. Hey, focus on your breathing. Hey, focus on your hands. Focus on a breath count. Focus on your feet. Focus on your heartbeat. Whatever it is, those are tools and ways to develop the skill of observing without judgment in the moment. So different analogies that you can think of that as: your brain and thought process is a river. You are trying to get out of the river, get stuck in the currents, and just observe from the bridge. You're not going, oh, that's that kind of fish. It's got that color, so that must mean it's that. And oh, that's that. Nope. Oh, a fish went by. Water's going by. Oh, a frog. There's no judgment. There's no anything but just a general observation of it. It's really hard. It's really hard not to get kind of attached to something. It's like you're on that bridge, and instead of just mindfully watching things go by, it's like you're casting a line out. It's like, well, now it's become an activity. It's no longer just observing without judgment. And I catch something. Now I'm in that direction. So that's one way. Another way that I have thought about it in the past, and this ebbs and flows, you might find you're kind of an evolution of how you're thinking about mindfulness and meditation. Another way that I had heard was sitting on the side of the road and just watching the cars go by. Now that I have experienced kind of where this goes, is ultimately, I like to think of it like the ocean. So some days the ocean is super choppy, the weather is crazy, you've got swirls, you've got white caps, I link that to just my mind is going. I've got emotions attached to things. I'm thinking about all sorts of things, thinking about things in the future, the past. I'm creating things in my own head, everything of the sort. It's a really choppy day. A really calm day would be I'm aware of where I am. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of my own thinking, but I'm not invested in it. I'm not getting dragged any which way with it. I kind of ebb and flow between I feel this and I'm seeing that. As a basic example, so that would be the super choppy waters versus the oh wow, just glass ocean that day, just beautiful and calm. Then we've got essentially getting caught in the whitewash. As the waves are crashing, it's easy to get caught in the whitewash. Meaning, I have a thought process, and I'm consumed by it. I'm sitting there, my eyes are closed, and I'm just this thought, this thought, this thought, this thought, with no awareness of it happening. I might have become aware later. Oh man, my mind was racing that whole time. But in the moment, it's just going to be going. So being caught in the whitewash. Now we're into kind of surfer mode. We talked about the global ocean. Now we're thinking surfer in the ocean. So you can get caught in the whitewash. You don't know which way is up. You just keep tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. And then there's a surface. And that surface, you're still in the whitewash. Now you're just swimming against the current, swimming against waves that are crashing. So now there are moments of, oh, and then you're back into thoughts, everything of the sort. Then there's a moment of, there's a breath. As an example, who knows what's going to pop up for you as personally, but then we get through the whitewash. We have gone under enough waves at this point that we are just on our surfboard and we are just on calm, ebb and flowing ocean. That is what you're trying to get to with meditation. It is ultimately another layer of awareness. So you can be unaware that you are. Let's say that all of your thinking, all of the things that you can be aware of, are in the ocean. You can be in the ocean. You can just not even know you're there. Thoughts, feelings, past, present, future, people, objects, tasks, you name it. You can be aware that you're you're in the ocean. Oh man, yep, my mind is very racy today. I'm thinking about all these things. I'm doomsday planning. I'm painting an extravagant experience that I haven't had. Whatever it is, then there's the idea that you are now aware, but not stuck in it. And that is what you're going for mindfulness and meditation. I'm aware of my own behavior, my own thinking, my own feeling. I'm not judging it. I'm not pursuing it. So that is, in my opinion, the way that we all want to live our lives, whether we know it or not. We don't want to be caught in go mode all of the time. We also don't want to be left without go mode. The ability, not being able to critically think, not being able to paint the future, reflect on the past. We need go mode. We just can't get stuck there. So this mindfulness and meditation is 100% worth your time, even if you're looking at it from a 1 minute a day perspective, and this is a waste of my time. Keep going. It's a skill. You're not good at that skill. As you get good at that skill, you spend more time focusing on that spot. You focus on your breathing. You focus on, there's one that's close your eyes and look up for an extended period of time. You could do a breathing count. All right, inhale 1, exhale 1. Inhale 2, exhale 2. Random example. But all of those are tools for you to develop the skill of mindfulness and meditation. And again, the idea is that Yeah, right now you're stuck in one mode. We need to be flexible through them. We need to have moments where we are just aware of what's going on. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not judging it. I'm just aware of it. I'm observing it. We need to have what am I feeling? Aware of my internal environment mode. We also and these things slide on a scale. So if you can't sleep, you're probably missing that learning part, that aware of my outside, aware of my inside to get to sleep mode. You're still stuck in that high mode of think, feel. So that's where this heads, is a more aware day. For me, it's led to being calmer. It's led to me being more aware of my emotional regulation in places where I typically have lost control. It helps me just observe things better. Observation is a skill in itself. What you see might not be what I see, and that is amazing in sport. I'll be watching a game, someone else will be watching a game. The comment they send me is much different than what I was thinking about watching the same game. The comment I'll send them, they go, "What are you even talking about? What are you looking at?" Well, I'm looking at the absolute smallest detail of how that guy's foot just moved. Most people are just watching it for the entertainment value. I'm looking at it from a movement value and a brain centered value of, wow, look how quickly he made that decision. What led him to make, oh, he saw that. Wow, I can't believe he saw that fast. Or, whoa, look at that side whip. What did his toss look like? What did his body shape look like? Like, those are the things that interest me when I'm watching sport. It used to be just an entertainment value, just wow, great, but and very unaware. So meditation, what it's going to do is it's going to create a new level of awareness that you currently don't know you have available. That's it. So if you're struggling with it and you're going, this is a waste of time, you're not good at the skill. Remember, it's okay. Anything that we start typically is we have a low skill set and we don't have a lot of tools to improve in it. Now you're starting to get the idea that the more you practice, the more ways that you can think about this, like high level athletes think about the movements that they have to do on a daily basis. If you can think about it differently, you're going to continue developing in it. So don't just sit and go, here comes the mind racing and all of the connected thoughts and all of these things. Go, that's where I am now. When I recognize, when I become aware that I am lost in thought, I am under the ocean, I am stuck in the whitewash, I'm going to bring my awareness to a breath. I'm going to surface out of the ocean. I might plunge right back into under another wave, but I need to surface. And as you practice surfacing more often from being caught in the whitewash and caught in on a stormy day, you'll spend some time floating on that surfboard. You'll become aware. You'll spend more time floating on that surfboard. And things in your life now have a different observation to them. You look at a stressful situation a little bit differently that allows you a different response. One of my favorites in the place that I live is there's a 2-lane that merges to a 1-lane. So it's already a kind of a nightmare area. Most people don't understand the every other car thing. Most people are not aware of their own behavior of, I got to go first. There's no point. There's another car right in front. So you go first. I'm right behind you. Are we getting anywhere at any different time? No. But there are how many people that go, I need to go first? Observation, awareness. It doesn't matter if I go first. If we do every other car, I actually get where I want to go even faster than I need to be in front of that person now. So just that. So this point collides into one. There's a grocery store on the left. that you have to cross 2 lanes of traffic to get to if it was allowed. It's a double yellow line. I don't know if you know your traffic rules, but double yellows are don't cross. And there's probably a real good reason why the city made that a double yellow line and not a turn lane or a dotted line or the hashed yellow on this side, solid yellow on the other. The lines actually tell you how to behave on the road. People don't know that anymore. People don't care about that anymore. So at this moment, at this intersection, already chaos, people having to merge. Then someone decides, I'm going to take a left where I shouldn't. And they block the whole thing up. Without mindfulness and meditation, I would have been the guy cussing that person out, screaming at them, maybe even get out of my car to point at that yellow line and go, you are an absolute idiot. Go around the block. It's still a thing. You can still miss your turn and go around the block. You can still not be able to take a left there and go around the block. It's possible. So I would have been that person. I firmly believe that mindfulness meditation, being able to be aware and observe myself and my own behavior, has led to there's just enough space to get around this person while they're trying to take the left. Some days I do way better with it. Other days I don't do very good at all with it. But progress is all I care about. Change and improvement is all I care about. So on my best day, I look at that and go, boy, I'm glad I'm more aware. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm aware that that creates a nightmare, and I don't do that, and I feel good about that. And I'm just going to go around this person, and go figure, we're going to the same place often. I go around, I go to the entrance in the back, not off the street, and typically we're there at the same time. And I didn't hold up traffic. I didn't expect someone else coming that way to stop for me because I want them to. It is a lot more, there's more connection to it. There's more connection to a life of awareness than there is being unaware of my own behavior and unaware of my own thinking and thought and emotions. So that's really what I was thinking about this morning was, man, people are telling me that their efforts to meditate are a waste of their 5 minutes. That's crazy to me. Not crazy. It isn't. It's understandable because at 2 minutes, I felt the same way. I don't know why I kept doing it. I felt like much more it was an issue that I knew about brain structures at that point. I knew that our frontal lobe was about critical thinking and our cerebellum was about preventing unwanted thoughts. And when I sat down to meditate, I was like, wow, those areas are just racing. They are uncontrolled, uninhibited. Okay, well, let's see what some practice does. So 5 minutes turn to 10 minutes. And this has been an ebb and flow. Like there have been times where I've sat down, not doing well at all, tried to meditate for an hour. It was helpful. It taught me things. It gave me that feeling of I'm stuck in it to I'm free from it. That's a powerful feeling. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes. Right now, my morning meditation is 25 minutes. My night before bed meditation is 30 minutes. So I'm about an hour a day. Those are 2 places to pay attention to. Morning, right after you wake up. Bedtime, right before sleep, are great places to add a mindfulness meditation practice. Again, the idea is that you get to remove yourself. There's another level of awareness that you are not privy to that doesn't come unless you try and just stop. If you just sit down, you're going to learn where you are in that skill development. Again, you are terrible at the skill of mindfulness and meditation. Your mind is going to be racing. It's not going to stop. You're going to be thinking about all these things. You're going to be, even irritated, angry, upset that you're still sitting there. the where it gets on that spectrum, I'm aware of my own behavior and I'm not judging it. I'm aware, and if I don't like it, I just change it. I don't want to be angry at that person. It never helps me. As an example, I will just go around the block. I will be at the grocery store pretty much at the same time. And I feel better that I took those around me into consideration. I didn't want them to have to wait for me to turn left on a double yellow. It just feels better. I feel like a better person, not than the other person, just personally. It makes me feel good. So I do it. So being aware is really what it comes down to. And then you look at, where does being aware help? Everything. Being aware of your own behavior is massive. Being aware of your own feelings, because if you're unaware, you can't do anything about it. You'll just find ways to cope. If you are aware, that's the start of doing something about it. And I think that being aware of things allows us to, one, recognize how well I'm doing something currently, two, take steps to improve it. Like, why not be the professional athlete of your own life? Why not look at all the things that you do from a skill perspective and say, well, what would be a little bit better there? Like, I relaxed the tension in my hand chopping with a knife recently. Just, what am I doing? I'm chopping. How am I doing that? I'm like kind of flexed over and like I'm like really gripping. Like, what? Why am I doing? Like, can I do that easier? Go figure. Practicing a new skill on something that I have done thousands of times, just adjusting how tall I was and how relaxed I was chopping an onion. I enjoyed that cooking more. Simple. So bringing awareness to what you do is massive. Being able to stop, just stop that mind racing, caught in the whitewash, stuck under the water. Stopping that is so important, and I think it will lead to a lot of long-term health positives if we can stop, because nothing is going on there for health. That is all driven by survival, and unfortunately, we don't live in a world that requires the same survival level from us. It's relatively safe in comparison to society without society as we know it. Think about what we've evolved from. That's where our brains are. We're not evolved into this world yet of very easy and done for us and lacking thought, lacking observation. Like if we lacked thought and observation in the time that there were actually predators, I zoned out and now I got eaten by something. It was unacceptable. Like, oh, I got stuck in my own thought process while I was hunting. Well, you didn't come back with food today. Why didn't you pay attention? Why weren't you aware of where those animals were, what you were doing, where you were walking, so on and so forth? Seems dumb because none of us grew up in that environment, but that's the importance of understanding humans from a bigger global perspective. Is we've evolved a certain way, and we live in a world that doesn't complement that survival right now. It actually makes it worse. And what are we seeing out of us? We're getting worse. We're degrading with time. Our brains are degrading with time. Our bodies are degrading with time. We are in the time of, I used to do that. I used to do that. I used to wear that size clothing. I used to be that young and energetic. I used to play those sports. I used to. I would love to be in a place, because where we're at now with brain understanding is we could be, I've always done that. I've always played baseball. I'm 86 years old and I'm still on a baseball team. That would be so cool to be in that world of, I'm getting better with age. Sure, it's all relative. Like, some things, they are degrading, they are breaking down, but it doesn't have to happen at such a fast or alarming rate. And I think that's what the change is. And I think mindfulness and meditation is a big part of us getting there. And it might not save you at 70 years old starting meditation for your first time, but could you imagine a world that we were teaching kids? Teaching kids how to stop, sit down, be aware of how they are without judgment, just being able to observe generally. Hey, look at these things. Like, think about that from athleticism. One of my favorite things is to take little kids and put them in front of a really good big kid and have that really good big kid do stuff. Hey, strike a ball. Hey, kid, and then I go to the little kids. Did you see what his foot just did there? Did you see how big his leg gets back there? Did you see how far he leans when he goes to strike it? We don't learn that stuff naturally. It's skills. We need to teach observation skills. We need to teach awareness skills. We need to teach about thinking and feeling. It would go a long way with reversing what's going on with our society of we're just getting worse. And that's just crummy to think about that. Yeah, it's just man, I was great and I just slowly declined. Maybe we could do a little bit more like this. Maybe we could do a little bit more like this versus this is the current trajectory. I have little spikes, I have dips, and the overall trajectory of that is down. So I got up because of the wedding, and life just became a vacation, and I just really hate my job. Kid, I just am miserable about my own body weight. I've got a sporting event, and we just have these little events where we go, ooh, this is great, and right back to the slow decline, and we just hope that we can forget about it and not pay attention to it. Ways to improve mindfulness and meditation. Again, start with a certain amount of time that you feel silly not accomplishing. If you don't want to get a meditation pillow, don't. If you don't want the eye pillow, don't. If you don't want the gong or the incense or the whatever, don't. Sit in your freaking computer chair. Just turn it around and put a timer on the clock for 2 minutes. Pick a time that you would feel silly not accomplishing. For me, it was 2 minutes. Pick a time in the day that new habit is going to live. We aren't designed to add new habits or construct or improve. We're designed to have them. Do them without thought. Get to the end of the day, rinse and repeat. So the idea of just, I'll meditate now. Most people need to actually plan the meditation event. So for me, it was, I remember I was living in San Diego. I would get up, immediately take the dog to the dog beach for his exercise and some exercise for myself. I would get home, make some coffee, do something else. This is a while ago, and then eat, and then start work and all that kind of stuff. So I remember putting 2 minutes before coffee. And I went, all right, I drink coffee every day. It's one of the first things that I have. Now it's one of the last things I have. We'll talk about that eventually. But it was take the dog, get back, meditate for 2 minutes, make my coffee. So I just started it and just tried to do it without judgment. Again, observe without judgment. So it's not I'm thinking, stop thinking. It's I'm thinking. Can I just be aware of that thought without being stuck in it? And it slowly goes away. So that approach of just know that it's going to happen. Know that you're going to think. Know that your mind is going to race. Know that you're going to be thinking about the past, the present, the future, things that haven't happened, things that have happened, things you want to have happen. It's all available. And what an amazing part of our brains is that we can reflect like that, plan like that, abstract think like that, create like that. So cool. But again, we don't want to get stuck there. We need to be able to come back down, be aware of our surroundings, be aware of my internal environment without all of that stuff going on. And it is so important for health. So ways that you can so you know that's going to happen. So then it's what do I do when it happens? What do I do when I become aware of it? And that's the skill. That's the skill development. My mind's racing. I'm aware of it. I focus on a breath. My mind is racing. I'm aware of it. I focus on that spot, a fingernail or deep just behind my brow or deep in my forehead. I could be aware of how my hands. I could be aware of my feet. I could be aware of my face, my lips. I could spend time being aware of the room I'm sitting in. There's a lot of different ways to go from think. Ooh, I'm aware of my thinking, breath. Think. As you do this, it starts becoming think, breath, breath, think, breath. Versus think. Is this 2 minutes over yet? That's where it starts to go, and you need to just practice. Practice the skill development. It's worth your time. It again, I've heard plenty now. It's not worth my time. I don't see the point. That shows where you are in the skill development, and you are in desperate need of it. Your brain is way too overactive. We're not designed to be there the rest of our lives. So the only time we shut down can't be when we sleep. We need to have time during our day where this happens. And the cool part, the more you practice being aware without judgment, the more you practice your observation skills, we get better at it. There's this thing called plasticity. Your brain is wired to change. If you don't practice changing it, it gets very hard to change and stuck. That's where the problems in our lives come. Our unhealthy things, our diseases, all the reasons why we go to doctors and specialists outside of getting hit by a car or a car accident and needing to get put back together. That could have been an awareness problem, though, an observation thing. I didn't see that coming. I got hit by it. What was happening? I was stuck in my own thoughts. Yeah, that's how deep this goes. So that's where all those things come from. That's where all of those problems, in my opinion, come from. So now you're starting to say, I'm changing. I'm deliberately trying to change my brain. Plasticity is a thing. It is. It just can work for us or against us. As you start practicing change, here's where it gets. There's this thing called metaplasticity, which means as I start practicing changing my brain gets better at changing. So freaking cool. So that's why things are so hard to start, because you haven't been practicing changing anything. You haven't been practicing improving anything. You've just been doing stuff. Doing stuff. You rationalize all of that stuff, but if you look at it from remove yourself from it, you'll realize I do the same thing and nothing changes. I just rinse and repeat everything that I do on a almost daily, if not daily basis. My brain is not changing ever. That's why it's hard to add these things. So the person that says, oh, mindfulness, what a waste of time. I go, you're not good at changing your brain. If you were, you'd start going, wow, mindfulness, meditation, it's so relaxing. It's such a nice break for my brain to just kind of stop the bombardment of everything that can take its attention. I now realize that there's a layer of awareness that sits above, that if you don't practice, you'll never achieve. So now I'm walking through my day more aware of myself, more aware of my surroundings. I feel less stressed. I feel less anxious. I don't deal with as much depression. I'm not angry. I recognize that event that would make me angry before it happens, and I make a choice that doesn't suit me. I don't like that feeling of blinding anger. I don't need it. That person is not doing this on purpose. That's where it will get to, but you got to practice. And that awareness level is massive for your health and wellness and performance. We know that pro athletes, high-level athletes, are bringing awareness to the things that they do in different ways every day. That's how they continue to improve in their sports. They get They get lost in the mundane skills and they find ways to make them exciting, make them fun, and make them and focus on improving them. So that's that's it for today. That is a bit about mindfulness and meditation. The thought process came from a few people saying it was a waste of time, and me just thinking it from a skill perspective, my own journey with it, the idea of what is possible. It's possible to live a kind of above self-aware life, and when that happens, we deal with a lot of the negatives that come a lot less. And not to mention, if we don't, and we're stuck in that go, 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 think, feel mode, keep ourselves busy, keep ourselves stimulated mode, that's the long term of, that's why we don't have cancer. We haven't solved cancer. We haven't solved Alzheimer's, brain dementia. We haven't solved any of them. We just have put more and more pills on it. And they don't help, like antipsychotics. How psychotic, how terrifying that line of medication is on humans. Like, but that's where we're at. Well, we don't know. Take a pill. We know we need to make money on you. That's about it. But we don't know what your problem is. So take your pill, go away. This is a big part of the equation on how do we prevent these things? How do we prevent those things that we don't want later in life? How do we keep doing the things that we want to do in our life? How depressing is it as the statement of, I used to do that. I can't do it. My knee now. Can't do that. Might be your knee, might be your brain. Unfortunately, the more you learn about your brain, you'll realize it's all your brain. The way your knee feels, the way your shoulder feels, the things that prevent you from doing the things that you want to do are brain derived. Your brain wins. It says, hey, I'm unhappy. You don't get to do this, but I'll give you a really good reason as to why you won't. And that is fascinating to me. So start your mindfulness meditation practice. Pick a time in the day. Put it next to a behavior that you already do and embrace. Understand that if you are stuck in the racing mode, that is a brain, we'll call it wavelength, a frequency. There are many more frequencies to explore. So it starts with, I'm aware, I'm aware, and I'm not judging. My mind is all over the place. I'm thinking about negative stuff, people in my life, positives, whatever. The next step down is learning mode. Ideally, we don't spend a lot of time there. So now you're in 2 minutes and you are contemplating how, like, I read this and let me critically think about that. New information, new things that have come into play in your life. Whatever it is, we want to kind of skip past that and get into, I'm just aware of where I am. Ways that you can do that are just paying attention to what you hear. Paying attention to what you see, even though your eyes are closed, you should see black or a very, very light tint because your eyelids are not blackout eyelids. You pay attention to the room that you're sitting in. Take it a step further, down to a different wavelength. Now you're paying attention to how your body feels. Can I feel my heart rate? Can I pay attention to a breath? Can I focus on my hand sensation? Can I focus on the sensation of my lips, my face, my feet? And that kind of gets towards that really nice sweet spot of just, I'm above it all. I'm on that surfboard. I'm on the surface. I'm not caught in the whitewash. I'm not caught in go mode. I'm not caught in thinking mode, feeling mode. I'm just enjoying being on the ocean, on this surfboard. The thought comes, I don't judge it. I'm just here to observe it. It's below me, whether it's you watching the cars go by or you on the bridge watching things go by in the water. I'm above them. I'm not stuck with them. I'm not stuck in the whitewash, but if I am, I'm not going to judge it. Oh, I need to stop thinking. That's a judgment. Just that's the practice. This would be it, physically represented by a person. Just But this and that. Yeah. But I got this to do. Yeah, you do. Sit. Like that, you're already winning if you just sit for 2 minutes. So if you put it's a waste of my time on it, it's absolutely going to be more of a waste of your time. But if you understand it's researched and it's a massively important part of brain function, that you stop go mode and you get into a different layer of brain waves and brain frequencies and different mode of, like, creation mode is amazing. You don't want to get stuck in it. You'll never create. Oh, I'll build that. I'll build this. You need to get it and get to a higher level of, now let me critically think about what it will take for that idea to come to fruition. Then you need to shut it off completely and just be. Be in your environment. What do I see? What do I feel? What do I hear? And I'm not judging it. To what am I feeling inside? All of them are important. All of them are a part of the skill development of mindfulness and meditation. So get to it. My recommendation, start so simple that you feel silly not accomplishing it. Know going in that you are probably going to be stuck in go mode. Know that there is a environment mode and self-aware mode. Recognize that you're going to judge. You're going to think about why you're thinking. Like metacognition. Cognition is a thing. Metacognition, us thinking about ourselves thinking, is a thing. So knowing that all of this stuff hopefully brings a different light to why meditation is important. I think if you were to say, Joe, give everybody one thing to do for the rest of their lives, it's going to be meditation based, I think. Like if I could do a breathing meditation, that's probably it. So not judging, but observing breaths. The hard part is if you wanted to control or change those breaths, now you're into observe, and I told you, hang in there. I'm almost out of here. Observe and judge, and it's non-judgmental. So if you are now starting to judge, well, was that a 4-second breath? It was supposed to be a 5-second breath. That's where it gets a little bit hard changing respiration. But again, eventually it just gets to a point where I'm aware. I'm aware during that moment. And the more you practice, the longer you can string together just in an awareness mode, or just, again, my default is just sit. Sit, sit, sit. Whatever will happen, will happen. I'm not going to say don't think. I'm not going to say think. I'm not going to go, ooh, look, I'm being aware without judgment. I'm just going to sit there. And I have noticed that the awareness piece that comes from it starts to bleed into the rest of your day. I'm more aware of myself in situations. I'm more aware with certain people. I'm more aware when I'm by myself. And being aware, I think, is a fundamental human trait that we are losing. So becoming aware is going to help us do a lot of things that we are struggling with in today's world, because today's world is constant go mode, constant bombardment of things that we can pay attention to, so we never have to be alone with ourselves. So have fun being alone by yourself. It's a very important skill to develop. It is worth your time. You just suck at the skill right now, and that's okay. Start your skill development. Your brain will get better at changing the more you practice changing it.